Right, before we jump into the video you're here to watch, just a quick heads up. The Eagerman's May Lifestyle Optimization Supplement is going to be launching very soon. Okay, I have specifically designed this supplement for men who want to improve their performance and optimize their lifestyle, whether that's in the gym through, strength, muscle recovery, or quality sleep at night, or at work, especially if you do long hours like me, where you need sustained energy and focus, or just generally in your life where you can use this supplement to naturally elevate your testosterone. It will include premium and ingredients like ashwagandha, shilajit, many more. Okay, the sort of stuff I'm taking separately at the moment, and so I've decided to put it all into just one clean formula that'll pretty much target every area of your life. So I'm super excited, and if this is the sort of stuff you're into, okay, into optimizing your lifestyle or your performance, I think you will gain a lot of value from this supplement, so from this particular product. So head over to www.theeagermans.com. I'll leave a link below in the description, and sign up to the pop-up you'll get on the screen after about 5 seconds, okay? So that way you are one of the very first ones to receive a notification once the product is officially live. Now, back to the video you're here to watch. Right, welcome to the Eagermans. Now, today's topic of discussion is going to be why selfish men always end up succeeding in life. Okay, and if you're someone who is very ambitious in life and who want to get to a certain stage, selfishness is one of those things that you need to develop, okay? Because if you look at all the successful people, there's one thing they all have in common, which is that they were super selfish at some point in their life, and that has paid off huge dividends later down the line. Okay, I want to be super careful when talking about this topic, because when I say you should be selfish, especially if you're in your 20s or your 30s, okay, I think this is the perfect time to be selfish as a man. I need to be careful, because when I say you need to be selfish, I don't mean in an evil or malicious way, okay? Like, what I'm not saying is you go out there and screw people over, okay? Or you act like a total dick and be narcissistic, okay? That's not what I mean. What I mean is you have to be selfish in a very focused, disciplined, and strategic way, in a way where you're basically capable of saying fuck you to all your distractions, okay? That's what I mean. The reason why you need to be selfish, especially if you're in your 20s and your 30s, is because this is a time of your life when you're very vulnerable to distractions, okay? Things like getting addicted to dopamine, right? Falling in love, getting into a relationship, partying, clubbing like 3 times a week, getting drunk, all that shit that isn't really contributing to anything in the long term, okay? Now, I say relationships because I feel like it's one of the biggest distractions for young guys, okay? It's relationship is one of those things that requires time, it requires focus, it requires nurturing, okay? And you could be using that same time and energy and focus towards building a business or building yourself, and that can then pay you big dividends later down the line if you think about it, you can always fall in love when you're 30 or 35 or 40, right? What you're also very likely to do once you're in love is potentially move out with the girl, right? And that's when you're totally fucked, because now you're tied to responsibilities. Then you go down the rabbit hole of having kids when you're 28, 29, and by the time you're 35, you've got a mortgage and 2 kids and a dog, and you've fucked up basically. You could have, you regret not making the most out of your 20s and your 30s. So that's why I say relationships. But another reason why you need to be super selfish in your 20s and your 30s is because, look, you only have limited time, okay? It's not like you have 100 years to be in a relationship, then 100 years to have fun, go on adventures, drink, partying, clubbing, all that shit, and then another 100 years to build your business. Like, that's not the case, right? Realistically, you've got about 70 years, right? 70, 80 years, whatever the life expectancy is. Now, from those 80 years, the first 20 and the last 20 don't really count, do they? Because the first 20 years of your life, you're learning how to walk, and then the last 20 years of your life, you're learning how not to fall down, right? So it's pretty much, it's what's in between that counts, right? Those 40 years. Now, from those 40 years, if you can be selfish for about 10 and make yourself the priority and not get distracted by anything, and just focus on your career and your goal, right? Think about how legendary your 40s and your 50s are going to be, right? Like, when I say being selfish, like I'm not just saying that you're selfish towards other people, but you're also selfish towards yourself, right? So, for example, doing things like developing the ability to say no to all the distractions, right? Going to the gym and lifting consistently because that's what's going to help you become stronger, right? Developing a skill, building your bank account, or building yourself as a man generally, right? Eating healthy, having a good lifestyle, right? Not going down the rabbit hole of scrolling endlessly and wasting time, right? Not getting addicted to negative dopamine, right? And when I talk about being selfish towards other people, that's when things get a little challenging. That's when things get a little difficult, because you have to develop the ability to say no to people, right? Hey, can we go out tonight for a few pints? Fuck you, I've got to go to bed early, okay? Got an early start tomorrow morning, right? Oh, hey, can we do this and do that today? Fuck you, I've got a business to build, right? Hey, why don't you get into a relationship? No, because I've got an empire to build, and a relationship takes a lot of time and focus, right? And don't get me wrong, that's not necessarily an easy thing to do. Like, that's a dick move, right? But that's what you have to do to separate yourself from the pigeons and become an eagle. It's like you will notice people will start distancing themselves from you the moment you choose to prioritize your own life and focus towards your own goals. And you know what? That's fine. You have to. These are the sacrifices you have to make, right? It's like the saying: in order for you to gain something later down the line, you have to sacrifice something for now, right? And if you have to sacrifice a relationship for 5 years, for 7 years, 8 years, if you have to sacrifice going out, having fun, if you have to sacrifice, having a bunch of friends, fuck it, so be it. Because guess what? You can always gain these things later down the line, right? You can fall in love when you're 35 or you're 40, right? You can buy a house then. You can have new friends later down the line, right? You can do fun things and go on adventures when you're 35, 40. The only thing that's going to be different is you'll look back and you'll think, holy fuck, I devoted 5 to 10 years of my life to myself, and now I've got a solid foundation that I can live my life on, right? But going back to why it's going to be challenging, and why people are going to start distancing themselves from you, especially when you're in that phase, is because, that saying, birds of the same feather flock together, right? Until one turns out to be a fucking eagle and fucking shoots right through the clouds, right? It's the price that you have to pay. It's just the price you have to pay. You're not just being selfish with other people, you're also being selfish with yourself. There are things that you would love to do, but you are choosing not to because you understand the consequences of making wrong decisions now, right? The price that you might have to end up paying later down the line. And look, I'm not saying that you're selfish for the rest of your life. Like, that's not what I mean, right? All I'm saying is choose a certain period of time, about 5 to 8 to 10 years, where you're super selfish and you're ruthlessly working towards your goals like a motherfucker. You let nothing get in your way, right? And then later down the line, once in your 40s and your 50s, you can ease off a bit, right? You can, I don't know, join a foundation, do some charitable work, teach your local community something. You can give back to the world, but you can't give them back unless you have something to give yourself. And the only way you're going to have something to give is if you, you know, fucking double down on focusing on yourself and you become a man of character and strength, right? And I say that and I say that it's a dick thing to do because it's unpleasant. It's it's not fun to say no to certain things all the time, right? Like, I've had to say no to relationships because I don't want to get distracted, right? Beautiful girls that I've had to say no to because there are girls whom I've liked that I didn't really want to do anything. I didn't want to really do anything with them because I know I can't afford to devote my time and my attention to a relationship, right? Especially a serious one. Now, obviously, if it comes on your plate, take it. But and I'm not one to comment on that, right? But what I'm saying is, don't go out of your way um to pursue a relationship, because it takes a lot of time, and you're very likely to go down the rabbit hole of becoming complacent, right? I've seen plenty of guys have ambitions in life, and the moment they get into a relationship, everything just goes downhill. Okay, but yeah, I mean, that's all I'm gonna say, really. Like, you have to be strategic in your 20s and your 30s. You have to be selfish and stay focused and stay disciplined and build yourself, because at the end of the day, it's not just about becoming successful, it's about becoming the person you're meant to be. Okay, and you know deep down that you're capable of much more, right? And the person you're meant to be is all the way up there and all the way down there, right? Far away. And you are currently all the way down here at the moment and all the way at the back, right at the back. And so you gotta go there, the place where the person you're meant to be is at, right? And that takes discipline, that takes focus, that requires you to be a dick sometimes, and so be it. Fuck it, it is what it is. Remember, you can always have these things once you've become successful, right? Realize that there is more to life, that there is a bigger game. There's a bigger game that you have to be part of, and work towards playing that long term game. Okay.